morning to all MotoGP fans. The famous Red Bull Ring Bull seems to be watching over the circuit, which is about to be the stage for the Austrian Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and the images will take us to the starting straight for the MotoGP class race. Cameras take us to the starting grid where riders and engineers are discussing the final details. The dark clouds over the track warn that everything may change. If the weather doesn't hold out, riders and teams will have to be ready to change bikes during the race.
Grid for the Austrian GP looks. Francesco Bagnaia leads Maverick Vinales and Brad Binder in the front row with Jack Miller, Alex Marquez and Luca Marini, all capable of 15th, while lining up behind them is Paul Espargaro, Raul Fernandez and Marc Marquez. Row 7 is Nakagami, Gian Antonio and Lecuona, with Augusto Fernandez and Lorenzo Savadori completing the grid.
The countdown is on here at the Red Bull Ring. Just a few more moments and we will see the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. Go there in Austria, it's full throttle, lights out, and we are going. Spielberg, superb start from pole position once again by Pecco Bagnaia. Nailed it just as he did in the sprint yesterday. Really good start as well by Luca Marini. He's up beside P3, although he nearly lost the rear. Big moment for the number 10, that's going to break up the field. It's Bagnaia and Binder clear.
Vinales got away better that time, but he just got completely beaten up into the first corner. Alex Marquez came on the inside of him, and Vinales had to check up. Look how far back he is. He's behind Bastianini and his teammate.
Absolute disaster for Maverick Vinales, and top of the hill into turn number 3. Vinales down 11th place through the first sector. Close there between Marquez and Marini. Marini got a really good launch off the line. From 6th to 3rd in the first corner, we get a big scare. Lit up that rear tyre on the exit. He was pretty fortunate on the high side there.
Well, whatever Ducati found on the start system, it's clearly working a treat, isn't it? Because Pecco Bagnaia is clear of the KTMs. Brad Binder and Jack Miller, 2nd and 3rd. Then it's Alex Marquez with his battle with the Mooney VR46 Ducatis of Marini and Bezzecchi. Fabio Quartararo is 7th, and Jorge Martin, with that long lap penalty to come, is on 4 into 8th.
Vinales trying to recover from another poor start. He has got through on his teammate Alex Espargaro halfway round this opening lap of 28 here in Austria.
It was a really tough second lap for Fabio Quartararo. He lost 4 places. We saw the move from Vinales at the start of the lap. Alex Espargaro, Enea Bastianini and Johan Zarco also made their way through on the number 20. So Quartararo in early difficulties as Jack Miller looks set to soon relinquish 3rd place. Very late on the brakes there into turn 1, wasn't he? And Jorge Martin does take the long lap penalty loop, which he had problems with this morning. As he comes through it this time, he's safely through.
Pace hotting up at the front, no question. Bagnaia and Binder, they break into the 129s for the first time. The only 2 riders out on circuit in those 129s are already making that decisive break. In terms of the spectacle then, it's all down on Binder to try and keep par with Bagnaia at the early part of this race. Miller, Marquez, Marini, Bezzecchi were all in the sort of low to mid 130s. Bagnaia and Binder with by far the superior speed early on as Quartararo runs wide through turn number 9.
That's where he lost all that time then at the end of the second lap, and you'll see Bastianini just easing through, and Zarco too taking places from Quartararo. He's running around at the moment in 11th place, promoted up a spot by Jorge Martin. So that long lap penalty completely erased all that progress that Martin made on the first 2 laps.
Has Binder got the drive going through the corner, coming through turn number 8? He was thinking about a lunge on the inside of Bagnaia there, wasn't he? Down in that 3rd gear, turn number 9, but Bagnaia just too good himself on the front end of that Ducati. And Pecco Bagnaia will know in the back of his mind as he sees on his pit board, sees the lap counter, Binder plus 0.1. He will know at some point that Binder's going to have some potential issues and concerns about front tyre pressure, front tyre temperature. It's imperative, Bagnaia knows, that he's got to keep the South African behind him.
Alex Marquez through then on Jack Miller up into third place, and you can see the Mooney VR46 Ducatis are now queuing up behind Jack Miller. This is kind of a familiar feeling, isn't it, for the Australian? We've seen it in recent Grand Prix. He's able to get up front in qualifying and get a good start, but then he ends up reversing back down the field, and that looks like the fate for the Australian at the moment.
Yeah, Marquez has gapped him straight away. This was the move, the classic move. You get the drive-through turn number 8 as they come over the crest. The blind run down towards the third gear, 120 kilometres an hour turn number 9. Yeah, Haii Martin with the long lap excursion on that previous lap. His time was a 33.6. So compared to your race leader Pecco Bagnaia, how much was the damage? Well, it was well over 3 seconds. That's how costly yesterday's first corner controversy it was for Haii Martin. Alex Marquez, having got through on Jack Miller, is getting on with this, isn't he? 134.222, best lap of his race so far as berkembang finds a way through now.
And Marini.
Yeah, and Marini. So Jack Miller, unfortunately, going the wrong way once again, just hasn't got the speed that he has at the start of these Grand Prix to keep the momentum going.
And next up behind Miller will be the two factory Aprilias of Maverick Vinales and Aleix Espargaro. Berkembang once again was the fastest rider on circuit. He did a 1:13.3, a tenth of a second quicker than the leader is going. So we've got an all Ducati battle at the moment for third place. The 73 against the 72.
Yeah, potential first dry Grand Prix podium on a Ducati here for Alex Marquez as Maverick Vinales then finally does find safe passage through on Miller. So Vinales then up into P6. Alex Marquez living up to top billing again here, but this is going to be a big ask, trying to keep Marco Bezzecchi behind him for a good 12 or 13 laps.
Yeah, Bezzecchi, as you see at the moment, would be 9 points behind Haii Martin. That's the battle for second in the World Championship. He's come from a long way back here as Marco Bezzecchi. Is he going to get that Ducati stopped? Unsurprisingly, he didn't.
Not a hope in hell of getting that one stopped. You could see that one was not going to happen when we rode on board with him. He had to run off. Alex Marquez would have seen him on the inside, just made sure that he wasn't going to turn in and there was going to be any contact between the pair of them. Ralph Fernandez further down the field, he's way outside the points in 19th. A big struggle for the Crypto Data RF, and he's got a track limits warning as well. So has the likes of Ikaleko owner and Fabio Gian Antonio. None of that trio currently circulating in the point scoring places. This was the attempted and ultimately unsuccessful overtake that Marco Bezzecchi launched on Alex Marquez going into the first corner.
Yeah, Alex Marquez will be more than grateful to take that third place back again, doing a fine job, isn't he? Just 2 seconds behind Brad Binder in second place and doing very comparable lap times to the South African up ahead. You can see just behind Bezzecchi, the second Mooney VR46 Ducati of Luca Marini. He did a 1:30.8 last time around, so he's holding a pretty safe and secure 5th place. Here he is on the number 10. He had a good outing here last year as well, didn't he, when he finished in 4th. That was a career best at the time for Luca Marini, and at the moment he's not under any threat from behind, with Vinales here on screen a couple of seconds adrift.
We're on board now then with Bezzecchi. He's tried this move once before, he's closer this time around on Alex Marquez. Can he pull it up to the apex? He's going in wide again, and they almost touch on the exit. Alex Marquez had the line, Bezzecchi just had to check up. So that's 2 times he's tried into turn 1 on Alex Marquez. Both have been unsuccessful raids. Yeah, here comes Bezzecchi, just got the better grip, the better edge grip, and the drive through turn number 8. And this time around, he doesn't need to wait for turn 1 to make his move on Alex Marquez. Alex Marquez then now in the Mooney VR46 Ducati sandwich. Has he got anything in terms of retaliation against Bezzecchi? Now with that clear track in front of him.
Alex Marquez is about to lose 4th place, although he's fighting back as Valentino Rossi cheers his half-brother on. Alex Marquez says, not just yet, Luca.
Marquez versus the Rossi family. We've seen that a few times, haven't we, down the years? Dig up old rivalries. We'll leave it to the current stars, the current generation. Marini then briefly through on the Gresini Ducati. You feel now though that even if he is able to find a way through, the podium's gone because Marco Bezzecchi has streaked away in convincing fashion here. The gap between Bezzecchi and Marquez is 1.7 seconds, and Marini also now finds a way through. Just got the better edge grip, the better acceleration grip coming out of turn 10. Didn't even need to wait to have a risky move on Marquez up the hill into turn 1, did he? So Bezzecchi and Marini keeping the boss very, very happy. He's loving his life in the Austrian sunshine, is Valentino Rossi. because now his boys P3 and P4.
Pekka Bagnaia has made it very clear today, hasn't he, at the benchmark that they need to reach. Paul Espargaro has now also been given a long lap penalty, presumably for the same thing. He'd also received a chat limit this morning. That's likely to cost him a World Championship point to his teammate Augusto Fernandez.
So we're on board then with Brad Binder. The KTM fans are on their feet. The Orange Army, as they always are here in the Red Bull Ring in Austria, out in fourth. They'd have been hoping that this man could have repeated his heroics of 2021, but unfortunately he is not going to do so because of this man's brilliance, this man's genius. We're on the last lap then here in the Crypto Data Grand Prix of Austria, and the data in the record books will show a convincing and commanding win for factory Ducati star Pekka Bagnaia. He starts this final lap 5.5 seconds clear of Binder. Safe second, a lonely second for the South African. Likewise, in turn, it's going to be a lonely third place for Marco Bezzecchi. Would it be a different story for him? All this much what's the maybes, of course, had he not started seventh and then had to work so hard and spend so long to get through on the hard-charging Alex Marquez. But it looks like after his spring disappointment, there's a podium on offer here for Bez.
If you're on the lookout for some late drama, your best bet is probably for 5th and 6th. Alex Marquez is continuing to lose time to Maverick Vinales, who's another rider who will look back on this weekend as what might have been. Through the first sector, Vinales has been able to close that gap to under a second, but unless we get a late mistake from Marquez, Vinales might have to settle for 6th place.
Davide Tardozzi looking rather pensive with the fingers crossed. He's got no need to worry. No problemo whatsoever.
Made it very clear today, hasn't he, at the benchmark that they need to reach. Paul Espargaro has now also been given a long lap penalty, presumably for the same thing. He'd also received a chat limit this morning. That's likely to cost him a World Championship point to his teammate Augusto Fernandez.
So we're on board then with Brad Binder. The KTM fans are on their feet. The Orange Army, as they always are here in the Red Bull Ring in Austria, out in fourth. They'd have been hoping that this man could have repeated his heroics of 2021, but unfortunately he is not going to do so because of this man's brilliance, this man's genius. We're on the last lap then here in the Crypto Data Grand Prix of Austria, and the data in the record books will show a convincing and commanding win for factory Ducati star Pekka Bagnaia. He starts this final lap 5.5 seconds clear of Binder. Safe second, a lonely second for the South African. Likewise, in turn, it's going to be a lonely third place for Marco Bezzecchi. Would it be a different story for him? All this but what's the maybes, of course, had he not started seventh and then had to work so hard and spend so long to get through on the hard-charging Alex Marquez. But it looks like after his spring disappointment, there's a podium on offer here for Bez.
If you're on the lookout for some late drama, your best bet is probably for 5th and 6th. Alex Marquez is continuing to lose time to Maverick Vinales, who's another rider who will look back on this weekend as what might have been. Through the first sector, Vinales has been able to close that gap to under a second, but unless we get a late mistake from Marquez, Vinales might have to settle for 6th place.
Davide Tardozzi looking rather pensive with the fingers crossed. He's got no need to worry. No problemo whatsoever for the number one. The epitome of cool and composed. This has been one of the most dominant performances of Pekka Bagnaia's Grand Prix career. It's a half-century, 50 career podiums coming up then for Pekka Bagnaia. Utter domination. Ducati reigns supreme once again here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg.
Where the third place finisher has also just arrived. This is a podium that is good for the morale of the whole team and confirms that the rider bike package is really competitive. The enthusiasm of MotoGP fans is, as always, overwhelming. Today's result is made even more exciting by the size of the crowd for the three riders on the podium right now. While we wait for the cameras to take us to the Parc Fermé to meet the stars of the race, let's take a quick look at the final MotoGP ranking.